morning. Today we are going to start with rural life and society, third chapter of your history. Now, the British, they had to bear the cost of maintaining the administrative structure, war expenses, and funds for the purchase of Indian goods for exporting to England. So the British government, they wanted to enhance income through revenue. Enhance means increase. Wanted to increase their income through revenue. Now, how they have ruined Indian traditional economy, which was agro-based, that we are going to discuss today. Villages in India were primarily self-sufficient units, and agriculture and handicrafts being the main occupation of the majority. Land revenue was collected by the landlord or by the officials appointed by the king. Mostly the farmers owned the land they tilled. So these are the 3 points. Now the British policy until 1793. First is the Ijaradari system. What is Ijaradari system? Now, the East India Company, they obtained Diwani of Bihar, Bengal and Odisha in 1765, and they continued with the traditional methods of revenue collection. However, till 1770, the company's income from land revenue was very little because of a massive famine. Now, so Warren Hastings introduced Ijaradari system. What is Ijaradari system? Now, the right to revenue collection was given to the highest bidder for a period of 5 years. These bidders were practically the contractors. Now, the bidding was often related to the actual productivity of the land. They never used to see how much production they are getting from the land. The Ijaradars were not interested in making the improvement in the land, as it was auctioned at regular interval. Now the contractors exploited the peasants to extract more and more revenue. Next comes the permanent settlement. Lord Cornwallis introduced the permanent settlement in Bihar, Bengal and Odisha in 1793. According to this system, the landowners or the jamindars, they obtained hereditary rights over their land. What is hereditary rights? Suppose the father's land, automatically it will go on son. Son will get that right. Jamindars had to pay fixed amount of land revenue every year to the company. Even if there is adverse climate condition, they had to pay the same revenue. Whatever remained with the jamindar after paying the revenue was his profit. The land revenue was fixed at roughly 50% of the total produce. Whatever the production will be, that 50% they will have to pay as revenue. Now, permanent settlement proved to be advantageous for the East India Company. Why? There are four points for that. Company was assured of, because company used to get the regular income, even adverse climatic condition. The new landlords became a class of loyalists for the company. The new landlords were very loyal to the company, and the British could use the new landlord for consolidating their political authority. Income of the company increased. Now, what was the effects on the peasants? Now, the actual cultivators of the land were left at the mercy of the jamindars. They could not do anything according to their wish, and they used to often extracted very high rates from the cultivators. Now, the peasants, second point, the peasants had to pay the revenue even if their crops failed. Hence, they were forced to borrow money from moneylenders. Now, next point, at many places, moneylenders replaced the old landlords who took no interest in improving the condition of the agricultural production. Many of them were absentee landlords. Who are absentee landlords? They never used to be present in the villages, but they used to lease the land. They used to give the land to someone else, tenant, who lived in the, and they used to live in the cities. So they had no interest on the land. The method of cultivation continued primitive. This thing, they never used to use any modern technology for cultivation. Now, in order to gain maximum revenue, farmers were forced to cultivate cash crops. What are the cash crops? Indigo, cotton, instead of rice or wheat. This has caused famine-like situation. Now the next is riotary settlement. Governor of Madras province, Sir Thomas Munro, introduced a system of riotary settlement in the Madras presidency. It was extended to the Bombay presidency as well afterwards. According to this system, peasants were considered the owners of the land and land revenue was collected directly from them. There was no mediator. Now the rate of revenue was fixed at roughly half of the total produce. Now it was settled for a period of 30 years, after which it could be revised. Though the riotary settlement recognized the peasants as the owners of the land, high rate of revenue made them dependent on moneylenders. The next is Mahalwari settlement. This system was introduced in Western Pradesh, Western Uttar Pradesh, parts of Madhya Pradesh and Punjab. Under this system, the land revenue settlement was made for the entire estate or mahal. Estate was called mahal, same thing. The talukdar or the head of the village had to collect the revenue from the villages and hand over to the company. The rate of revenue was roughly half of the total agricultural produce, which was subject to a periodic revision. However, even under this system, the condition of the peasant remained pitiable. There was very bad condition of the peasants because the head of the village retained the right of extracting revenue. But because the head of the village used to get revenue, collect revenue from the farmers.